Hey.
You're screening the story for all ages, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a book?
I have a book.
Okay. All right.
I can use it.
Yeah. I'll follow along with you.
In the background.
Yeah, you said we'll just start it and then just let it go for 5 minutes. If you go to the third one now, where's the
I'm reminded of a quote by Emerson. I love the quiet sanctuary before the service begins. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
I wasn't ready for that.
Restart it.
I can't. It's okay.
Oh, all right.
I'm sorry. I thought that was.
Slight technical difficulty. So good morning. My name is Gary LaRude, and I want to welcome you to the Auburn Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. The fellowship is located on the ancestral land of the Muskogee Nation and is housed in this building, constructed by free, formerly enslaved African Americans. We gather here with humility, honoring those who came before us. We gather here seeking something larger than ourselves, a spirituality that will give our lives deeper meaning and the opportunity to join others seeking peace and justice in the world. To those of you who are visiting with us this morning and are looking for a safe place you can call your spiritual home, thank you for being here. We hope you will feel welcome and accepted just as you are. We invite you to join us in service to our mission, which is building a welcoming and caring community dedicated to challenging the mind, nurturing the spirit, and transforming the world through the pursuit of truth, love, and justice. If you are new and haven't already done so, we invite you to sign our visitor log at the other end of the church as you came in, near the greeters. We will add you to the email list for our weekly newsletter. You may also request this online at auuf.org/visitor. We're a very active congregation, so watch the order of service, the email newsletter, and our website for activities you may be interested in. Now, as we ring the bell for our service, Please silence your mobile phones. Some analog systems still work. Our opening words this morning are by Carl Sieber. Let there be joy in our coming together this morning. Let there be truth heard in the words we speak and the songs we sing. Let there be help and healing for our disharmony and despair. Let there be silence for the voice within us and beyond us. Let there be joy in our coming together. And the words for our chalice lighting this morning are by Ben Soul. Out of the darkness, light. Out of the light, warmth. Out of the warmth, joy. Out of the joy, togetherness. May this flame hold us for the time we are here and with one another. And we light a second candle this morning for all who are living in the darkness of oppression, fear, scarcity, and insecurity. And we also note this third Sunday of Advent, our Advent candle will be lit by Melanie Raines.
The selected Advent reading is Open to Joy by Aaliyah Kemmler. Years ago, at just this time of year, my mother got lost in the North Shore Park shopping mall. The department store where she got lost had gorgeous, vaulted ceilings with huge skylights. My mother said the night sky was so beautiful she kept looking up instead of in the direction of her two friends. This was before the time of cell phones, so her friends, unable to find her and worried she had passed out or been abducted, had her paged all over the mall. She was rescued by the mall's security guards, and all was well. My younger brother and sisters were mortified, but I loved this story and still do. I love that the winter sky through the ceiling of a department store was so full of wonder to my mother that she got lost in it. In the church that I serve, we light the Advent wreath candles to help us remember we are in a time of waiting for hope to get itself born into this world. On the third Sunday, we light the candle for joy. It often feels like bad timing. Holiday stress levels have risen by then, along with that particular ache many of us feel at this season, a mix of longing and loneliness, kind of like homesickness, but for a place we have never been. It is hard to forget we are waiting. We are waiting for justice, waiting for these days of strangeness and sorrow to be over. How do we even think about joy? The old stories we retell at this time of year have clues. They tell us something important about the nature of joy, the joy that can break through the starlight or candlelight in the darkness, but that is surrounded by the hard stuff of everyday life. Maybe that makes it all the more precious. The stories remind us there is still and always joy in this world, and it is for everyone, but it usually comes right alongside the struggle. Mary and Joseph make a long, tired journey to Bethlehem before the joy of the baby's birth. The Maccabees live in the hills, fighting desperate battles and impossible odds before winning back their city and the oil in the temple lamp burning for 8 days. Winter solstice arrives in the midst of the deepest darkness. The joy comes alongside the waiting. It comes alongside the pain and fear and uncertainty and has nothing to do with ideal circumstances. Maybe all we can do is issue joy an open invitation and then start paying attention to how and where it shows up. We may discover that joy is already happening, smaller and quieter and braver than we realize. We may find joy is in the taste of an orange, the smell of coffee, the view of the night sky, the sound of the violin. Let joy find you however and wherever you are. May the lighting of this candle bring us patience, grant us faith, and draw us closer to joy.
Our opening hymn this morning is number 1060 in the turquoise hymnal. As we sing of joy and hope today, please rise in body or spirit.
This is another new one. And for those of you who read music, you'll be pleased to hear that all 2/4 measures have been switched into 4/4. You can thank Martha after the service. And Martha will play the melody through once. This was even too hard for the choir. And then we'll do it all ourselves.
One of the ways we care for each other as a community is by sharing our joys, concerns, and the milestones of our lives. We begin this morning with a silent sharing for those thoughts too tender to voice out loud. Please come forward and drop a rock into our communal water bowl, and Andrew will provide a musical meditation. Now, if you have a personal joy, concern, or milestone you'd like to briefly share with the congregation, please come to the front and use the microphone, waiting until the person in front of you has finished. If you have an announcement for the fellowship, please hold that thought. We have planned time to share announcements at the end of the service.
Hi, I'm Patience. I just want to thank Laura and the board for allowing my Rescue Island Pine there, Oscar, to come and stay for the holidays. My concern is what to do with him after this. So any suggestions are welcome at coffee hour.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Chris. My joy is that I'm back after traveling to Germany and back to Indiana to Hong Kong and back. And one of the coolest things I got to see in Hong Kong was the Temple of 10,000 Buddhas, which has 10,000 gold Buddha statues, each one unique, different designs, different setups. So it was really awesome to see.
Yeah, I just wanted to report from the house of the 10,000 wreaths that were made yesterday. The vining was a great success, 30 plus now. I'm not going to even try counting, starting with wreath making and then stone soup and chili, and then ending with kids jumping into a big leaf pile, which is always nice to see. Also, the Maccabees were brought up in the oil, some holidays coming up, I guess. And the vines come from the retired vineyard at Tuskegee, and new vines come out where you clip the old ones from the year before. And I've been doing this for over 30 years, and it seems like it's beginning, if I'm the only one doing it, not a whole lot regrows. But it was just enough oil to cover us yesterday, so I was really happy with that. Anyway, thanks for all who came. It was a great time.
I have a joy, concern, and a milestone. It's just one thing though. I got married last week.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody. To anyone who did not get invited, nobody was invited. We eloped. It was really hard to explain that to my grandmother, but it was good. So I missed the auction, but I'm back.
Did she cut you out of the apple pie recipe from now on?
Hi, I'm Jerry McCreary, and I have real trouble following that. But I have a joy and a concern, or maybe a sadness. Today is the last performance of Over the River and Through the Woods at the Jan Dempsey Center at 2 o'clock. And I'd like, if you haven't seen it, give you 3 reasons why you might want to go. One of them, the doors will open at 1:30, and there'll be entertainment until the play starts. Number 2, at the intermission, there'll be free Italian desserts. And the third one, which may not be a reason to come, there's a little small part where I sing in Italian.
I'm Margaret Wright, and if you missed out yesterday at the fabulous wreath making, and you would like some holly, some greenery, some vines that you cut off of a vineyard, see me after the fellowship. It's just a half a mile from here. You can walk there.
Hi everyone, I'm Aisha, this is Jamie, and we have a birthday in the house today. Do you want to introduce the birthday person?
Miss Ashley Spencer,
Woo!
one of our newest members here, has her birthday today.
Applause is great, but shall we sing?
Yeah? Ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ashley. Happy birthday to you. Woo!
Thank you for all the sharing this morning, a lot of good milestones. May all our joys, concerns, and milestones, those shared and those that are silently in our hearts, be held with love by this fellowship. The Auburn Unitarian Universalist Fellowship is very active and vibrant, with an inspiring mission to make a difference in the world. As important as sharing our time, energy, creativity, imagination, vision, talents, and skills, we also need to contribute financially to sustain the fellowship. You may donate online via PayPal at Auburn UUF or with Venmo at Auburn UU Fellowship. If you're writing a check, please make your check payable to AUUF. You can drop it in the offering bowl or mail it to P.O. Box 669, Auburn 36831. Whether online or by check, please note whether your donation is for your pledge or a general offering. And if this is your first time with us, please allow the offering basket to pass you by. You being with us is a sufficient gift. The offering will now be received with gratitude.
This is a tune many of you will know from your childhood, others from your parents' childhood, and you are encouraged to join us.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. I never understood a single word he said, but I helped him to break his mind. Yes, he always had somebody fine wine, singing joy to the world. king of the world, tell you what I do. Throw away the cars and the bars and the wars, and make sweet love to you. Yes, I make sweet love to you. Sing joy to the world, all the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. No, I love the ladies, love to have my fun. I'm a high night flyer and a rainbow rider, a straight shooting son of a gun. I said a straight shooting son of a gun. Sing joy to the world, all the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the world, joy to you and me. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and
Thank you. Our moment for all ages story this morning will be told by Ralph Banks.
Good morning. I'm great crowd today. Our story today is Finding Joy, a celebration of small moments by Godly Garcia, illustrated by Marta Pineda. Abuela's dog, Kiki, greeted Nico with slurpy wet kisses as he walked in through the door. Nico ruffled Kiki's fur, and she yelped excitedly and rolled on her back, ready for a belly rub. "What a welcome!" exclaimed Nico. "You'd think she hadn't seen me in a year." "Hold up, mijo," said Abuela. Does anybody know what Abuela means? Yes. Right, that's Spanish for grandmother. "Hola, mijo," said Abuela, greeting Nico with her own kiss. Kiki is never shy about expressing her joy. Can you imagine, Abuela, a life filled with naps, snuggles, and playtime? Nico asked as he unpacked his backpack. Kiki lives her life to be happy. Kiki has her own challenges too. Her brain just doesn't get stuck on them. She's pretty good at appreciating what's around her. We could learn a lot from Kiki, don't you think? "Sure, Abuela," Nico replied. "I'll get on that as soon as I finish my homework." "Okay, but before you start, can you please take Kiki for a walk? She has some business to take care of," Abuela said with a wink. Outside, Kiki was in no rush. Instead, she stopped to sniff her favorite tree, her favorite fire hydrant, her favorite rock, her favorite everything. "Come on, Kiki, we don't have time. We don't have all day," Nico said, impatiently pulling at her leash. You ever taken a dog for a walk and they just seem to want to stop at everything and they don't want to go where you don't? But that's they have different priorities than us. They're smarter. Kiki noticed a puddle and darted towards it, pulling the leash out of Nico's hands. "No, Kiki, it's too messy," Nico shouted. But Kiki was already splashing and rolling in the mud. Nico grabbed Kiki's leash just as she gave a full-bodied shake. "Now I'm a mess too," grumbled Nico. On the walk back to Abuela's, Kiki spotted a squirrel and was beside herself with anticipation. Kiki circled the tree and wagged her tail as hard as she could so that Nico thought it might fall off. "Knock it off, Kiki," said Nico as he led her home. "We don't have time for this." When they returned to Abuela's house, Nico sat and watched Kiki. She found her ball, swatting it and then chasing after it. Kiki looked like she was having the best time playing with herself. When the ball got stuck under the sofa, Kiki tried unsuccessfully to knock it with her paw. After a while, she gave up and began rolling on the floor with her snuggle bear. Finally, Kiki curled up next to Nico and licked him a few times before closing her eyes. "So, did you learn anything from Kiki?" asked Abuela. Nico smiled. "She never passes up on an opportunity to play, that's for sure. And Kiki's pretty good at finding joy in the littlest things." "We could all be a little more like Kiki," said Abuela, almost to herself. "That sounds like a challenge," Nico stated. "More like a gift," replied Abuela. "Kiki's got it easy. She doesn't have to deal with schoolwork or chores or early bedtimes," Nico protested before finally mumbling, "I'll give it a try." Back home, Nico began having doubts about Abuela's challenge. As soon as Mama reminded him to take out the trash, "How am I supposed to appreciate this stinky mess?" Nico muttered to himself. Then he caught a glimpse of the sunset. Nico stopped and marveled at the magnificent colors. He watched with delight as the sun moved over the horizon. Loading the dishwasher after dinner, Nico initially rolled his eyes at Pappy's mighty dance party invitation. Then he remembered Kiki and thought about what she would do. Nico felt the music pulse through his body as he danced. At bedtime, Nico was caught up in Poppy's storytelling that he didn't even complain when Poppy said it was time for sleep. Nico closed his eyes and went over his day. A warm rush of gratitude filled his body. That Kiki's onto something, he thought, and he smiled with appreciation. The following week, when Nico visited Abuela, he was again greeted by Kiki's slobbering kisses and silly smile. But this time, Nico was ready. And so was Abuela. So find your joy. If your brain is excellent at noting what's not going well, it naturally focuses more on negative things. The good news is you can do something about it. When you make an effort to find joy, you're helping your brain get better at recognizing the good around you. Joy can be found in moments we often overlook. Get curious. Slow down. Notice. Appreciate. What could Kiki do? Feel your joy. What does it feel like for you? Where do you notice joy in your body? Finding joy isn't just about the difficulties you have. It's about noticing the small moments of delight too. It gives you a fuller picture of what's happening. So, thank you for listening.
May your words bring truth into the world. May your heart sow love and your hands do justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
Truly a moment for all ages. I was told that there's a van, this white van outside is open, so if that belongs to someone and you didn't intend to leave it open, I think the doors are open, you might want to tend to that.
I closed the door.
Oh, all right. All right, so the doors are closed, so thank you. So a number of weeks ago, when Carter signed up to provide the homily for this service, the third Sunday of Advent, she didn't realize that there would be an unavoidable conflict that would keep her from being here today. However, through the miracles of technology and the work that Daryl has done, we're going to stream her to you this morning with that homily.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person this morning, but I am thankful for all those who helped make this service possible and for the ability to still be with you virtually. As you heard earlier, this is the Joy Sunday of Advent, and joy is our theme today. However, we are not going to speak of joy in a toxic positivity kind of way. Toxic positivity is a dysfunctional way of managing emotions that involves avoiding, suppressing, or rejecting negative emotions, especially sadness and anger. It can also involve dismissing someone else's negative emotions by suggesting a positive one instead. Toxic positivity can be harmful and negatively impact well-being. I will not be asking or suggesting that anyone ignore the hard and painful things going on in the world or your lives. What I want to discuss is how to let joy live alongside the trials and tribulations in our lives. I'm going to start with a reading. The Waiting Time by Megan Lloyd Joyner on December 2nd, 2022. She actually begins with a quote from Reverend Victoria Sappord, The Moment of Magic. Now is the moment of magic, when people beaten down and broken, with nothing left but misery and candles in their own clear voices, kindle tiny lights and whisper secret music. Megan continues, in the Christian calendar, Advent is a time of waiting and preparation for the coming of the Christ child. The story from first century Palestine tells us that with the birth of Jesus comes hope, love, the undoing of the status quo, a new reign of peace on earth. At this time of year, we are invited, as weary people have done since the beginning of time, to kindle tiny lights and whisper secret music, to cradle our hopes like newborn children, to wonder what love looks like in practice, to await a new era with patience and preparation. This year, we might not feel like waiting is the best thing. We may cry out in lament for lives and rights taken without account, joining our voices with all who cry for justice and peace. This year, sitting quietly in the midst of chaos might feel close to impossible. Finding the magic in this season of waiting can be difficult for many of us, not just this year, but any year. For how does one sit quietly when life can be so unkind? What about the times when we wait for word of family and conflict zones, of an injured friend or a dreaded diagnosis? Times when we wait for illness to set in or for a child who does not arrive. In times like these, we might find ourselves wishing that time would pass more quickly to get us to the other side of a nightmare. How do we live in that kind of waiting time? Advent challenges us not just to wait, but to wait actively, to do the work of preparing hearts and till the soil that awaits seeds of hope and love. Advent encourages us to be present in each moment of waiting. The moment of magic, the time we have been waiting for, is now. Not some future date, not the end of the Advent calendar, not the hour that the days begin to lengthen again, or that long-awaited morning of presence. The mystery, the excitement, the beauty of this season are all found in the waiting time. And so we wait, allowing ourselves to be fully present to all that is happening in each moment. When we do, we join our lives and our breath and our hearts with all who are waiting for justice, waiting for peace, waiting for a world to be born. So I ask, how do we practice joy in the waiting? In the waiting of Advent, of Christmas, of the holidays, of life in general? I'm going to suggest in small moments. Joy does not have to be grandiose, monumental experiences like graduating from college or falling in love or getting married or buying your first home or having a baby. These are major milestones that produce intense feelings. Life is made up of a million fleeting moments and feelings, and hopefully joy can inhabit some of those for all of us. Have you heard of the term glimmer? Deb Dana, a licensed clinical social worker who specializes in complex trauma, coined the term in her 2018 book, The Polyvagal Theory in Therapy. Glimmers refers to small moments when our biology is in a place of connection or regulation, which cues our nervous system to feel safe or calm. We're not talking great, big, expansive experiences of joy or safety or connection, she says. These are micro moments that begin to shape our system in very gentle ways. The concept of glimmers and the practice of finding and sharing them with one another on TikTok took off in 2022, sort of as the antithesis to triggers. Triggers are moments that can rapidly spark agitation, anxiety, fear, sadness, or anger. Often, this physiological or emotional response to a trigger is out of proportion to the event because triggers are reactions to memories, situations, or people associated with unresolved trauma. Triggers activate the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response that occurs in the face of a potential threat. In this sense, glimmers and triggers are opposites. Glimmers, on the other hand, evoke positive feelings and stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which produces sensations of calm and relaxation. Has a beautiful sunset ever taken your breath away? Are there moments when you stop what you're doing to delight in a child's smile or the taste of a favorite fruit or feel the breeze against your skin? If so, then you have experienced a glimmer. If you pause to notice the pleasure you were experiencing and savor the moment, then your mental health and nervous system automatically benefit. Learning to find glimmers helps to enhance well-being and reduce stress. Looking for glimmers can be a mindfulness practice that encourages us to notice the good all around us. Keeping your eyes and mind open to find glimmers can also help you stay in the present moment rather than worrying about the future or fretting over the past, just like Kiki the dog from the Moment for All Ages today. Glimmers are related to polyvagal theory. So this has to do with your vagus nerve. And the theory describes how the autonomic nervous system, which controls involuntary actions such as breathing and digestion, searches for and interprets things, people, and environments to determine whether they are a threat. For example, if a relative who was mean to you when you were a child always smelled like cigars, your fight or flight response might ignite when you smell cigar smoke. You might start sweating, or your heart rate might increase. Glimmers, on the other hand, help your nervous system relax. Over the long term, noticing and appreciating glimmers can help you build emotional resilience and develop a less overactive nervous system. You'll find yourself in a state of regulation, connection, and safety more often because you have more neural connections that are programmed for ease and rest. That's why glimmers can be especially helpful for trauma survivors who are struggling with a dysregulated nervous system. But they're beneficial for everyone. In an overstimulated world, glimmers can bring your nervous system back into balance when you feel off kilter. The thing I love about glimmers is that working with trauma survivors is so respectful of their suffering, Deb Dana says. It allows them to understand that their biology is wired in a way that we don't discount the trauma or the crisis or the ongoing suffering. But we recognize that their biology is exquisitely set up to be able to also notice the micro moments of goodness. Anxiety, depression, other mental health struggles and life circumstances can make it harder to access joy and notice these micro moments of joy. Some suggest that writing your glimmers down, almost like a gratitude journal, can help the practice. Amy Morin, a licensed clinical social worker and editor-in-chief of Very Well Mind, says, it's really good for us to have a break from our uncomfortable emotions sometimes. Morin says, a little joy and some relaxation can reduce your emotional distress. And when your emotions go down, your logic goes up, she adds. That means you might be able to tackle a problem from a different angle because you see things a little differently. Or you might be able to talk yourself into doing something difficult once your anxiety subsides a little. Less emotional distress can also help you take more positive action, and that positive action can help make your life better. Still speaking of experiencing glimmers, Morin says, sometimes people don't want to feel them because they know those emotions won't last, or they might feel guilty for feeling good during a hard time in their lives. She also says, but trust that it is okay to allow yourself to experience them, enjoy them while they last, and know that you'll have more moments of joy in the future as well. So, I invite us all to make space and welcome little moments of joy into our lives. Not in a toxic positivity, no bad vibes kind of way. Indeed, I think being open to all emotions that create a space for these micro moments to bring us joy and no pure joy. Some more examples of glimmers include spotting a rainbow, hearing your favorite song at the grocery store, feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin, or spotting a wildflower growing on a sidewalk. Enjoying the feel of sand between your toes, or your morning coffee, or listening to birds chirp, or a child's laugh, or even just appreciating the stars at night or falling snow. When we make a practice of noticing the expected and unexpected small gifts in our own lives, we begin noticing the good more and more. Rather than being on the lookout for danger, the way our hunter-gatherer ancestors were, we're on the lookout for beauty and peace. Over time, this shift can have a positive effect on our mental health. What we choose to nurture and feed will grow. I'd like to read you a poem entitled Joy by Donna Ashworth. Pam Wiggins sent this to me when she came upon it because she knew I was working on this service, and I thought it fit perfectly. Joy does not arrive with a fanfare on a red carpet strewn with the flowers of a perfect life. Joy sneaks in as you pour your cup of coffee, watching the sun hit your favorite tree just right. And you usher joy away because you are not ready for it. Your house is not as it must be for such a distinguished guest, but joy cares nothing for your messy home, or your bank balance, or your waistline, you see. Joy is supposed to slither through the cracks of your imperfect life. That's how joy works. You cannot invite her, you can only be ready when she appears. And hug her with meaning, because in this very moment, joy chose you. This poem reminds us that in a world of turmoil, chaos, and suffering, there are still moments of joy. While relishing glimmers isn't a substitute for therapy or other mental health treatment, the practice can have far-reaching cumulative effects on your mental health. I know this isn't really any mind-blowing, cutting-edge advice, but research indicates that even fleeting positive emotions can have long-lasting, supportive consequences on personal growth and social connection. Now I'm going to channel my inner Rev Marty here, and I'm going to repeat that last bit. Research indicates that even fleeting positive emotions can have long-lasting, supportive consequences on personal growth and social connection. For me, at this time of year, some glimmers I find are light displays, my Christmas tree, glimpses of the generosity of spirit in others. I recently had my hair cut, and I really relished having someone wash my hair and massage my scalp. This time of year, a big part of many cultural traditions is bringing light indoors during the dark winter. I kind of think of glimmers similarly, as a way to bring a little light in. I cannot reasonably expect that I can wish you a life free from pain or sorrow or suffering or frustration, and that will come true. But I can wish you joy in any place you can find it. Or, as the choir sang earlier in Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog, joy to you and me. So mote it be.
So Carter suggested that we take a couple minutes to, for any of you to share what are glimmers in your own lives and what brings you joy during this season.
Laura, my joy is yesterday at the Vining. It was just fabulous, but I had this bite of lemon bar, and then I had a sip of soup, and it was a magical taste in my mouth. It was like, whoa! So that was extremely joyful, and I'm so grateful. I had it twice. I ate 2 lemon bars.
You don't have to confess. Other glimmers. Yes, Carl.
I was out feeding the sheep in the rain and was reminded of my father every day with his sheepskin jacket, walking out to feed the horses, snow or shine. And it was a great memory.
Yes, Chris.
This morning, Abby and Archie spontaneously created little puppets of the Big Bad Wolf and the 3 little pigs and their houses and put on a puppet show for us out of nowhere. And I'm always amazed and joyful at their creativity and spontaneity.
Yesterday I went to Wheeler National Wildlife Refuge with some friends who had never gone before, and it was just joyful hearing 10,000 sandhill cranes just sing in chorus and display. And we went to another spot to look for snow geese, and there were hundreds, and they were just like a cloud when they flew around. And that gave me a lot of joy.
This is not as majestic. When I was a kid, like when we were in church, it was like very serious, like hands in your pockets, like no funny business whatsoever. So when I came here, one of the things that I loved was the kids like here are always funny business. Like it always brings me like so much joy, like when Buggy like stomps and jumps and runs. And like when Olive is running around and shaking her back, like because that's what kids do, you know? Like they have so much fun. But I like that.
Beautiful. Other hands? Yes, we have one up here.
Every time I come home to my dogs, and they're just ecstatic. and it doesn't change from day to day. It's just wonderful that it's like, you're here.
All right. Lori and I were driving north on 280 earlier this week, and to me that's such a reflective drive because there's not a lot of traffic on 280. and you kind of do the hills thing. And there's a certain point, I don't know, it's past Sylacauga or right before Sylacauga, but you come over this hill and you see this expanse of green, and right now it's sort of muted yellow and orange and brown as the fall season is progressing. And the hills in the background, and it's just, that was my glimmer for the week. So, anyone else? So thank you, Daryl, for making this possible. The master behind the technology, we appreciate that. So let's join now in our closing hymn, which is number 29 in the gray hymnal, Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee. Please rise in body or spirit.
The Three Dog Night was 2 or 3 generations. This one's about 10 generations old. And feel free to sing it in German if you wish.
We close this morning's reflection with this Advent prayer. Beautiful Mother of creation, you who imbue every facet of this universe with the spark of all being, teach us to find joy. Help us to open our hearts wide enough to let in the wonder of miracles, the anguish of suffering, the blessings of compassion, the beauty of truth. Help us to know that our hearts and our fists are of the same size, that the work of our hands must always be guided by the love of our hearts, to not only speak truth in the halls of power, but to sing out for the joy of change and of justice. In the true sense of belief that someday this world can become a beloved community that holds us all in care. So may it be. Now, as we extinguish the chalice, please reflect on these words adapted from UU Minister Gordon McKeeman. Deep calls unto deep. Joy calls unto joy. Light calls unto light. May the flame that we have rekindled in us the inner light of love, of peace and hope. And as one flame lights another, nor grows the less, we pledge ourselves to be bearers of the light wherever we are. The light won't go out. We invite you to stay after the service for refreshments and conversation. And before we adjourn, though, if you have a brief announcement for the fellowship, please come up to the microphone and share it.
Two brief announcements. The first one is we are starting to box the holiday helping boxes today. I sent out a list of the items that we are looking for, family of 4, 3 days worth of food. And if you need another one, just let me know. We will still continue to collect food this week, and we'll do the last packing on next Sunday, and then I'll deliver them to the food bank on Monday. Second thing is there's a certain service on the 24th in the evening, and I'm looking for volunteers who'd like to participate. Some like just to come and enjoy, and then some like to participate. I have last year's program, so I know who you are. In case no one volunteers, I'll just come back. So if you would like to participate in any form, a reading, a musical performance, I don't know, a puppet show, we could always use more of that. So the more, the merrier. So get in touch with me with that as well. Thanks.
Thank you. And thanks to all who are contributing to the helping boxes. Jim.
The Humanist Discussion Group is tonight. The topic is free speech. Let's see, we meet at 5 o'clock to eat a potluck, and then the discussion starts at 6 o'clock. Everyone's welcome.
That's an interesting topic, so you may go till midnight tonight.
Hi, my name is Nariko, and then Jerry already talked about the performance at the John Dempsey, 2 p.m. today. Temesian and I went there last night. It's a beautiful script. And then also the great actors, of course, you know, and then, but it's an intimate environment. It's really, you can really drawn into it. And then the story that the white director was so compelled to direct this performance, it's also a very beautiful story. So I really encourage you to go. It just brought me back to my young adulthood, all these people that I said goodbye along the way. It's just a beautiful story. So it's really worth your time.
Thank you. A reminder for those of you who are new, in addition to the weekly newsletter, we have an email list, our AUUF Connect. That's a good way to receive timely updates about the many activities of the fellowship and ways to participate. You can sign up for that at our website, auuf.org/subscribe. Now let's rise and sing our closing benediction.
Peace.